As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 80 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am joined as always by my co-host Andy. How are you this week, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm all right, thanks. I'm particularly good because I've got new shoes. I've got some serious shoes news for everyone on this podcast. Indeed. But so I'm looking at my pile of new shoes because I went mental the other day, and you'd think I had like a 40% off code or something. I didn't. I just had a 15% off, the same as everybody else. But I bought 4 new pairs of shoes.
Yeah, you sent me a voice message, and I was listening to it thinking, oh no, what's he done? What's he said now online? Oh, because you said I've gone off on one, and
I've just lost my head. Yeah,
he lost my head, and I was like, oh no, what's he done? And then you were like, and I've spent stupid amounts on shoes.
yeah, I have spent a fair bit. But when you think about it, like, fair enough, I've spent nearly 500 quid on 4 pairs of shoes. But because it sounds a lot, doesn't it? But not everybody buys 4 pairs of shoes at the same time. But when you add all the pairs of shoes up that you buy across the year, well, it's probably best not to do that, is it? Because you don't want to spoil your day. But when you do buy it in bulk like that, it sounds way worse than it actually is. But an average of like just over 100 quid for a pair. Some of the shoes I've picked up, I'm really, really pleased with them. So, and they're all going to get used. They're all going to get a good 800k, 500 miles for sure. So they're all going to be, getting there. I'm going to be getting my value out of them. Definitely getting my money's worth. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. So, anything else happened exciting this week, or?
Well, I was just saying to you just then, I've just left a little, because I've just done my final River 7 video and I've just put it out today. By the way, I've broken my record for fundraising, and which I totally didn't expect to do. I've now raised, as of today, 1,417 quid.
Wow, that's amazing, dude.
Just for the River 7 effort. So I'm so proud of that, and it's just an extra thing, to be sort of like, I guess, proud of, because it's like fundraising. I didn't want it to be stressful, because sometimes when you say you're going to fundraise, you can think, okay, how on earth am I going to make that much money? But the thing was, I did it off my own back, so there was never a target, so that made it easier straight away. And I honestly thought, even my optimistic kind of, basically, I never thought I'd only get anywhere near 1,000 quid. I thought I'd be going about maybe 500 quid. I thought that's what I would end up with. So to have got nearly 3 times that, I'm just absolutely over the moon with.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But yeah, I've finally put my last video out. So if you want to watch it, you can see me limp the last ultra marathon, and that was a time. That was a real funny time. I can't believe what a state I got myself in, like foot wise.
Yeah.
Like, because what's funny is, and sorry for a spoiler if anyone's doesn't know if I finished it or not, but I did. And right at the very end, I put like 800 meters to go. I went to track on Thursday, and I ran with the faster pace group, and we did a 2:57 800. On that day, the last 800, the last half a mile, took me about 14 minutes. And it's just absolutely.
That's nearly a half an hour mile.
I know. But I wish to God people could have. But even if you would have been there, you still would have said, oh, come on, get a move on. You're embarrassing yourself. What are you doing? But I just can't describe the level of exhaustion and pain that I was going through. And I managed to run a little bit towards the end, but you can hear me grunting and going, sounding like blooming Serena Williams, on that last stretch, because every footstep was like an effort. And to have just done like a really good track session the other day, I mean, fair enough, it was nearly 4 or 5 weeks ago now, but the level of exhaustion was like something I've never felt. So I just wish people would. What I would recommend is do a 200-mile run. Then we'll have a chat about how you felt in that last half a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's a little. That's all I'll say as well. In the last 10 seconds of the video, there's a little. There's a little surprise for you if you listen carefully. But no one's picked up on it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Brilliant. I've put your donation link in the show notes and the description of the last few pods. So I'll put it in again this week. And yeah, let's try and get you up to that magical 1,500 mark.
Well, we've had loads of people who listen to the podcast who've sent the donations in. And yeah, it's just, times are hard at the moment. Everyone who's a runner is raising money as well. So you're giving money to all sorts of people. So I'm just really, really flattered that people have wanted to, give a bit of money to
do you know the crazy thing about it, though? That is incredible that you've raised that much money, but that still wouldn't be enough for a charity place for London Marathon.
What's the minimum?
A lot of charities are like a minimum $2,000.
Oh my God. It really helps that I've got this very Z-list celebrity status. Like, it really helps because, I can put my stuff on YouTube. I can make a little bit of a sob story and make you feel sorry for me. But that makes it easier. So if you're not using social media, I can't imagine how hard it would be to raise 2,000 quid in this day and age.
Do you know, it's hard work. When I did my charity places for London, the first year it wasn't too bad because I'd never run a marathon before. It was the first ever running race I'd ever done. So when I was telling people that I was running a marathon, they were like, "Oh man, that's incredible! Here's some money towards your charity." So the first year it wasn't too bad and it was doable, but as it went on, because I did it 5 years in a row for charity, on that 5th year, it was so difficult to raise the money because, like, on the 2nd year, they were like, well, you managed to do it last year, but yeah, I'll donate again this year. The 3rd year, people were like, well, you've done it the last 2 years. What are we really donating towards? We know you can do it. And then the 5th year, obviously, where they were like, well, 4 years you've done it. So, and I've donated every year. So,
give us a break, Brett.
Yeah. So basically, each year got tougher and tougher. And what I did, me and a friend at the time were both doing it, and we were both into musical theatre and stuff. So we put on a show at the Palace Theatre in Redditch, and so people who were buying tickets, the money from the tickets was going to the charity. So they weren't just giving money for a donation, they were getting something in return. So they were paying for a ticket to the show in return for their donation. So that made it better because they weren't just handing over money for nothing, if you get what I mean. But if you haven't got the option to do something like that, man, it's so hard to raise the money.
Because I've seen people do all sorts of things and you can just tell they're like, I'm out of ideas. The marathon's in 2 weeks and I'm still 800 quid short. And they're like, right, guys, we're going to do a raffle. It's 20 quid in, and whoever gets pulled out wins a bottle of blooming Blue Nun. So, or a bottle of Lambrini or something. But like, it's so tricky. But I think like what you've just said, if you can bring some value or something to people that will be giving you money for the hard thing that you're doing, that's a big thing to do, I guess, if you're stuck for donations. And
So, but I say that makes it better, but it doesn't make it easier because we were in the show as well, so we were performing in the show. So you've got your day job, then you've got the marathon training, and then you've got the rehearsals for the show. Then you've got the organisation of the show. You've got the advertising of the show. So you've got so much more to think about and worry about.
You're basically starting a new business, aren't you?
Basically, yeah. But earning no profit out of it because all the money's going to charity.
Just hoping that you break even as a minimum. Yeah.
So it was interesting. But like when I did it, what the charity minimums have gone up because I would say now probably there are a few charities that would have 1,500 quid as their minimum, but a lot of the bigger charities, because their places are more sought after, they are like $2,000 minimum and stuff like that. Some go up even more. But when I did it for a charity called Max, and their minimum back then was, I think it was 1,200 quid I had to raise for the first one.
Yeah.
But I always hit over what we needed to raise. So
see, that doesn't sound bad, but in 2010 or whatever it was,
2012 was my first one. Yeah,
that would have been a fair whack to raise, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it's probably relative, I guess, isn't it? But do you think that marathons, the big majors, are oversubscribed, and charity places are getting more now? So. Because, I mean, do you remember how many people participated in 2012? Considering London's a record breaker now, isn't it? 60,000?
I think there was 35,000 at London back in 2012.
So it's nearly doubled in size.
Yeah, and the course is still the same size. I think possibly it is starting to get oversubscribed. There are too many people within that course. And there are lots of squeeze points where the course gets narrow and there's twice as many people trying to get down there. But you have got this thing of they want to be the biggest marathon, so they're having more entries and things. But is that a good thing? Yes, they're the biggest charity money raising event each year, but is that to the hindrance of the event itself?
It's becoming overwhelming now, and it's becoming more about this is going to sound bad, it's becoming more about completion. It's becoming more about complete, not compete, isn't it? Because you're getting to a point now where you're going to London and having that thought of, a bit like me at the Great North Run tomorrow. It's almost like, well, I know a PB is not going to happen because there's going to be 60,000 people run on the same half marathon course as me, compared to Worcester the week after where there'll be 6,000. Not even that. Half of them are doing the 10K. So it's like, because there are so many people doing this awesome thing, because everybody wants to do it, because it's awesome, because everyone wants to do something right now, they can't wait, or, everyone then has to not suffer, because I'm going to sound I'm risking sounding really negative, But if you're not in that front 1% that goes off on the first gun, you're going to get swamped. There's no doubt about it. And it's probably like if you're running sub 3 at London, you've probably gone off too slow. You probably need to go off with the real fast cats if you want to get away quick.
Well, to be honest, I went through so many people at the start of London because the toilet queues were so long. When I eventually got into my pen, I was at the back of like the first wave of runners at my start in the yellow wave. The yellow start. There was 3 waves at the yellow start, and I was in the first wave, but I was right at the back. I was one of the very last to even cross the start line at that first wave. So within the first couple of miles, I was just snaking and weaving through loads of people just to try and get to a point where there was a bit of free space. But if you watch my video, there gets a point when you get to about, I get to about 3 mile, and it is so packed, it's crazy. And there are people just cutting across you without looking. You've got to look where your feet are landing, because if you're not careful, you're going to tread on the person in front of you, or the person behind you is going to tread on you. And you've got to be so careful and so mentally aware of what's going on, just so you don't fall over, let alone thinking about the pace that you're running and everything like that. It's crazy.
Well, the Great North Run on Sunday is... what I find crazy is the start time. So I'm one of the first waves, and I'm going off at 10 to 11 for a half marathon. Like, why is it so late? Like, it doesn't... and I mean, I understand it's because to try and ease... To try and avoid a national emergency with 60,000 people all trying to get somewhere for... But essentially, the start time is irrelevant because we've all got to make our morning plans and get there. Get there.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe it's to public transport that that doesn't really start getting and going until 7 or 8 o'clock. I don't know, but it's a late start, the Great North Run, and I'm in real I'm at risk of sounding really like a real negative person here, but it's controversial. But I'll say it anyway, right? Don't you think that now people's whys, as in WH whys, has changed? People want to go straight for the mountain. They just want to go straight to the top. I mean, I'm not one to talk because it only took me 18 months to do a marathon from when I started, or maybe 2 years, when some people it will take them 10 years. But some people watch our marathon videos or whoever's epic marathon videos, people that are putting stuff out, and they're like, yeah, I want a bit of that. You'd be like, well, yeah, hang on a minute, mate. You haven't even done a parkrun, or you're only just doing this. I'm going to sound like I'm really slagging off people that are like 4 hours and below here. That's not what I'm doing at all, because the London Marathon needs those people more than it probably needs you and I, if you know what I mean. It needs, or equally as much, not more. But there's nothing wrong with running a marathon in 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours. But when there are 30,000 people running a marathon in 10 hours, and 10 of those 1,000 start at the front, it gets a little bit, I don't know. People at the front start to get a little bit irate, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think it starts from a social media thing where you think, I want a bit of that. I want that. I want the London Marathon place. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no one to talk even worse than you, because at least you spent 18 months before you did a marathon. I did a marathon as my first ever race. So I'm no one to talk at all. But I did it back when it wasn't as popular and there wasn't the running boom.
You should print a T-shirt that said, I was a runner before it was cool. I'd buy that. No, actually, I couldn't wear it, could I? I couldn't wear it. Only you could wear that.
It's like those gatekeeping people who were like, I like that band before they were mainstream. I've got their first EP. I don't like their modern stuff now. They've gone too commercial.
Too poppy. Yeah. But I did actually see someone walking around. Fair enough, it was Shoreditch, I think. But it was someone said I was a vegan before it was cool. And there was a picture of like some broccoli or something.
Brilliant.
But no, sorry, what were you saying?
Just completely again on that note, in the last week, I saw my sister a couple of times, and the first time I saw her, she was wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and I just went up to her and went, "Name 3 Nirvana songs." And then the second time I saw her, she was wearing a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, so I just went up and went, "Name 3 Guns N' Roses songs."
You know what you could have done? You could have gone, "Name 3 Nirvana songs," and she'd be like, I'll be like, "Never mind." Little joke there, little joke.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I did the marathon back before there was the big running boom and before social media was a massive thing. Yes, we had social media back in 2012, but it wasn't the all-encompassing thing that it is now. And there was only 35,000 people running London. So, and the ballot wasn't that big. Whereas now you've got, 1.5 million people entering the ballot.
Yeah.
For wow, it's now 60,000 places, which is crazy. But yeah, and do you know what else I blame as well?
I think I know what you're going to say. Jamie Lang.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Your mate Jamie.
Yeah, that's what I blame. There are too many of these celebrities just going for these challenges that they've got no right to be doing. And I mean, look at what he went through. Even in like the second day, he was in bits and was saying he couldn't do it. And that's because he wasn't ready to go and do ultra marathons, let alone several days after days.
But what's annoying is, imagine if you weren't a runner. Imagine if you weren't, which most of Jamie Lang's fans are not.
Mm.
How much of an awesome challenge does that sound?
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. That's what I'm saying. But that's
I've only ever run 10K.
But that is the problem. That is the problem, is he's applauded and people say how wonderful he is for doing that. But really, he should be told that he's an absolute dickhead, because you've got to be a dickhead to think that you could go and do that when you've never done any running before. Going and doing a marathon was bad enough. I was in absolute bits at the end of that first marathon because I just wasn't ready for it. But to think you can go and do several ultra marathons across the span of a few days is even worse. But people are saying he's fantastic and he should go and do it and he's wonderful for doing it. But really, people who care about him should have been going, "That's stupid. Don't go and do that."
So is there much difference then, and you can be as honest as you want to be, between what he did and what I did? Because I did.
There's a complete difference. Do you know what the difference is? You've run ultra marathons before. You've run marathons. You've got a history of running behind you and building up endurance and building up the ability to go and do that. Jamie Lang had never run before, and he thinks he can go and do ultra marathons. He didn't run any of the ultra marathons, really. He walked them, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because there's no chance he was going to run them.
Yeah, well, I did, to be fair. but what I'm saying is, people could see what I did and think the same thing about the London Marathon. They could think, well, I could try and do that. 200. Well, if he's raised 1,500 quid for charity, I could raise more. So,
but nowhere in your ultra challenge did you say, "I've done this with no training." And there seems to be a fad at the moment of YouTube videos. I did a marathon with no training. I did this challenge with no training. And that seems to be a badge of honor that people put on their chest to say, "I managed to do this with no training at all. Must be easy." No, that's stupid.
That's not the way.
Do the training. Do the training and make sure you are ready for it, because that could be the difference between somebody getting really injured or really doing their health like no good at all because they haven't trained for something, and somebody else has gone and done it with no training, so I can do that too. And that's when they get in all sorts of trouble. And yeah, I don't think that's something that you should be celebrating, really.
Yeah, I think what we're kind of saying is absolutely we're not talking about ability here or time, but what we are saying is if you want to do the London Marathon and raise money for it and, you know, get your place there and earn your place, just do the damn time, put the damn time and training in there.
Train for it. Yeah. I'm not, anyone can go and run a marathon, and I applaud anyone who finishes a marathon. If you finished a marathon, you are part of the family. You are part of our family. Marathon runners are marathon runners, don't matter what time you run. But put the training in. Go and do it to the best of your ability and finish it knowing that you did everything you could to finish it. Don't just go and do it on the off chance of, I might not be able to finish this because I haven't trained for it. Any challenge, you need to have trained, because there is that possibility that you could do yourself a lot of damage.
Just kills me halfway through that video when they say, just a quick word from our sponsor, if you need a virtual private network or a VPN, why don't you check out NordVPN with code I haven't trained for this marathon 10 for 10% off. It just does my head in. It really does. I don't know why I feel so bitter about it, but I think the thing is, as runners, I think we get protective over it, don't we?
Yeah, I think we do, yeah.
The longer that you've been doing it, the less that it becomes a fad and the more that it becomes a lifestyle and an addiction.
And I think it's because, as well, running is so accessible. And that's the beauty of the sport, is anyone can do it. All you need is a pair of running shoes and you can get out the door and go running.
And a camera.
The sport... and the sport is so accessible. So everyone in the world can look at people running and say, I can do that. Whereas that's not the same with every other sport. You don't watch Formula One and go, I could do that, because you can't. You don't watch football and go, I could do that, because you can't step foot on Old Trafford or Anfield. You're not allowed to. And yes, you can go down the park and play with your mates on a Sunday, but it's not the same. But you can go and step foot on the same marathon course as all the marathon greats. And I think that's why it's so accessible, that you can go and do this, that people think I can go and do that without putting any of the effort into it.
I think the thing is, we treat it, we're protective over it, like it's our, it's our thing, isn't it? And we don't like people almost belittling it, saying, I can do a marathon because I'm a human and therefore I can do anything. And there's people that have dedicated our whole lives to training for this and not getting a place. And then someone from Towie who's got a runner-sponsored affiliate link and has got a place. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, oh God, I shouldn't have a go at him. He might listen to the podcast, he might not. But do you know, I think he's called Joe Sugg. He's he was or is a big YouTuber, and he's done a few things for Runner now. And I'm pretty sure, was it him or one of the, you know who the Sidemen are? You know, KSI?
Oh, yeah.
One of them did a London Marathon video, and they were like, London Marathon with no training. And it was sponsored by Runner. And it was like, what is this? Like, how are Runner okay to put their name on this? But they're probably like, well,
Yeah. We'll get loads of eyes on our app from this. And
I know.
All of the beginners who need a training plan will come and spend their money with us, because KSI and their mates decided to...
Who don't use it and never will do again.
No.
But here's your 10% off. But shall we move on that? Should we move slightly across to thanking our guest last week, Mac, on the subject of runner?
Yes.
So a big thank you to Mac for coming on the podcast last week. It was really, really good to hear his training for Chicago, and his honesty about using the app and how difficult it is, and how much it demands from him. You know, training for a marathon with a full-time job, and busy work life and all that sort of stuff. And so it was quite good to listen to him chat about that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the fact he's using Runner as a bit of an experiment. He's not doing it because he's sponsored by Runner. Yeah. So it's not like one of those videos where they've gone, Runner are doing my training plan because they're paying me for it. He's doing it as a bit of a experiment. What happens if I do this? And he's paid for the privilege of it. He's not being paid for it. He's paid for it.
Yeah. Well, Mac's got Chicago coming up, which is one of the world majors, and we had a world major, didn't we, last week?
We did, yes.
Which we should probably touch upon. But just quickly about Chicago, do you know who, or do you watch Eric Floberg?
Yes. Yeah.
So he put out a really good video the other day. I don't know if you watched it. It was about, it was basically just like long continuous shots of him running on the Chicago seafront with that sunrise.
That shot.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So he's got his videographer Cyrus doing all the the camera work for him, and it really is a great. That's the sort of YouTube I really enjoy watching.
Yeah.
It wasn't
beautiful cinematography. It's like watching a feature film, isn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't data all over the screen like you're in some sort of heart monitor, or you're in some hospital. Yeah.
Or you're playing Daytona on the Sega arcade.
Yeah, you can't actually see the actual screen.
You got your speedo and your distance and your position and everything on screen.
So yeah, it was nice just to see his training, and what he did was, I think he did a 20-mile or maybe longer long run, and he was putting 4-minute blocks of 5:50 pace, I think. Does that sound about right for a sort of 2:30 marathoner, something like that?
5:50 pace. What do you mean?
5:50 a mile pace.
Oh, 5:50 mile pace. I thought you were
4
talking.
minutes.
I thought you were talking in your kilometers then.
No.
Okay. Yeah, 5:50 a mile. Yeah.
So
that would would be about there. And
he said on his floats or on his rests, he said that he was resting at 6:30 a k or 6:40 a mile, and he was like, 3 years ago I couldn't even run 26 mile at this pace, and he said it's just consistency that what's his thing? He says being about it is the thing, and he's a good example. He's someone really positive and good to watch. I like Floberg. He's doing Chicago, and I think he's trying to. I don't know what his new series. Well, he hasn't given himself a new target for Chicago, but I think his marathon PB is somewhere around 2:38, 2:36 maybe.
He's trying to break 2:30, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
I think that's his main target, is to try and break 2:30.
Maybe he's done sub 2:35 then at Boston or somewhere. Yeah. But
a couple of years ago, he was trying to go sub 3, weren't he? A couple of years ago, and now he's going for 2:30, which is crazy.
Well, yeah. See, I was a vegan before it was cool. I used to watch Eric Floberg before he was cool, because he had a photography channel that I used to watch about wedding videography and photography. And then he started doing the thing where, because of COVID, he put some running stuff up. And I remember watching it thinking, what's this? Go on, we'll have a look at it. And then I was like, 3-hour marathon, what's that? Is that good or bad? I don't know. And he tried to run a 3-hour marathon in COVID. I think he did 3:05 or something like that. And he did it as a time trial. And now he's running a marathon half an hour faster in a half a decade. That's pretty good progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's good, and his videos look beautiful, but his personality as well comes across really well. He's a really humble guy. He's not flashy. He's not show offy. He just gets on with it, does the training, puts the hard work in, and gets the results, and makes it look beautiful in the in the process.
I liked what I quite like, because I think he's got a house full. I think he's got 3 or 4 kids, and one of the segments he does in his video is called Sabria. I think that's the name, Sabria Time, and he basically just interviews her and says, "What am I doing wrong? How can I be a better husband whilst I'm marathon training?" And she's saying, "Well, your communication could be a bit better, and don't get out of, let me know what time you're getting out of bed, because I want to get up as well." And like it's really quite an honest insight into a busy life sort of thing, with someone who's doing 90 or 100-mile weeks regularly.
Yeah.
And it's a really fascinating, but like you say, humble approach to it. Because it's almost elite, it's not far away from elite kind of performance, really. And but the dude's pretty good, pretty good runner, isn't he? He makes some good content. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall we chat about Sydney?
Yes. So yeah, Sydney Marathon, first time it was a marathon major this year.
Bloody hell, mate!
Yeah, and I think there was about 35,000 ran it this year.
Yeah.
Which is a big jump up from where it was previously. But I think they had to hit, I think it was last year, to cross the threshold and get it to become a major. They need to have over 25,000 run it last year. And I think they hit that, and that then sealed the deal that they could be a major, because they had to prove that they had the infrastructure to run it as a major. So they needed to show that they could take on the amount of people that would be coming along in a major. But I think, this year, I think 35,000 ran it, which is pretty good going. And I mean, I listened to a couple of different Australian podcasts, and it's amazing how they had the same opinion as me and you, because I know we chatted about it. But because they are Australian and they were there, they also had a completely different point of view as well, if that makes sense. So they all said the TV coverage and the stream of the marathon was terrible.
It was woeful, wasn't it?
It was awful. You couldn't follow what was going on. There was adverts constantly, and just when the race got exciting towards the end, when the men were starting to make a move and people were being dropped and stuff, they cut to an interview with Kipchoge and Sifan Hassan. And it was like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And they played like a 5-minute interview. Talking and asking random questions.
There's 2 miles to go, or something like that. There's a mile to go, and we're talking about Eliud Kipchoge's favourite colour or something. Yeah,
yeah. So the coverage was awful. I mean, you said at one point, they said on the commentary, we've lost second place in the women's race. We don't even know where she is.
We think Sifan Hassan's in the lead, but we're not sure.
So the TV coverage was terrible, but listening to the other podcasts, they said what an amazing atmosphere it was and what an amazing event it was, because we were watching it and texting each other going, it doesn't seem very busy and there's not many people at the side. The atmosphere seems a bit dull.
Timbahonga 10K was busier.
Yeah, but the Australians said being there, the support and the crowds were incredible, and there was loads of people there. So it can't have come across very well on the TV at all. But yeah, and I mean, it's an Australian race, and I was really excited because I listened to all of those Australian podcasts. I was really excited about the Australian runners, because Sydney, it was the Australian champs as well.
Yeah.
So like London, there's always a big thing about the British runners, and there's a British race. Yeah. So there's a British race as well as the main race that's happening. You'll always see cuts to the race of all the British runners and how they're getting on and things. But there was none of that at all. And the first Aussie came across the line in the background whilst they were interviewing Kipchoge, and there was no like celebration that the first Aussie had just come across the line or anything at all. And then they didn't even talk about any of the men's Aussie runners, and they didn't interview any of them. And then the women's Aussie runners came across the line out, and it did actually show some footage of them and everything, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why they weren't making such a big deal of it being the first Australian major and it being the Aussie Championships.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shambles, really. I did watch it and think, thank goodness for the BBC. I can't believe I don't think I've ever said that before. But the adverts, God, I thought American shows were bad, but
yeah,
there was like every 4 minutes. There was more adverts than coverage.
Yeah, it was mad.
It was bad, and I just don't think it really. I mean, I'm sure you'll go into detail with what you've heard about being there, but it just didn't really sell it to me. Being on the other side of the world, it didn't. From seeing it on the TV, it didn't make me think I want to do that one day, which disappoints me because I thought
same here.
I wanted to have that feeling of, this is the new kid on the block. This is the new major that everybody's going to want to do.
Yeah.
Because you've got the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House finish and, and the hard hills to run and the notorious hard uphills and downhills. And I wanted to know more about the course. And we just didn't really get that, did we?
No. It was, it was like when you watch the footage of London, you see all of the crowds and you see the atmosphere, and there's always footage of the front men, and then it cuts to the footage of the front ladies, and then it captures the whole race and the atmosphere and everything. But this just seemed like, I don't know, just a local race somewhere, just the way that they filmed it.
Yeah. See, I've actually watched a couple of vlogs, including Aubrey, who's done a video on it.
Yeah.
And his video, in 10 minutes, did what the Sydney Marathon coverage didn't do in 3 hours.
Yeah, I know.
And it's, it was... well, anyway, why didn't you say about what the runners thought about it? Or what they sort of said?
Yeah, they said whilst they were running, they'd never had an atmosphere like that at Sydney before, and they'd run Sydney several times, and they said the way it had changed because it was a major was incredible, and the way they organised it, the way the support was, they said it was a really good race to do, and it had upped the quality of race big time by becoming a major. Listening to them then made me go, actually, I would like to go and do that. But after watching it, the same as you, I was like, I'm not sure if that is such a race I want to go and do. But after listening about it and the way they felt about it and how excited they were from being in it, made me go, actually, no, that sounds pretty good.
Now, did you see the one bit of coverage I did like was the Kenyan fans?
Yes, behind Kipchoge, just screaming so you couldn't hear him.
Screaming, dancing, sort of singing. It was crazy. So there was a huge group of, well, I don't know if they were specifically Kenyan or not, but they were just making so much noise for Kipchoge at the end, weren't they?
Yeah. So that's what, after he'd finished, he was being interviewed, and they would stood behind him, and you couldn't hear any of his answers because there was just constant noise and screams. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall we go through results anyway? Just quickly. So hang on, I've got them here somewhere. So where are they? There they are. So in the men's race, so overall winner was, here we go, Haile Mariam Kiros Kebedu. So
Okay.
he was the overall winner. He was an Ethiopian runner, and he finished in 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds for the win. It was pretty exciting, actually, the last couple of miles in the race, but I just wish the footage coverage was a
Yeah.
bit better. Because I was like, this is quite exciting. They've dropped the rest of the field, and then he had been dropped by a couple of others, and all of a sudden he put a surge back on and caught them back up. And with
Yeah.
the last 2 miles, him and the other Ethiopian who came in second just surged away and left everybody. And then as they got to the hill, he started to pull away, and they got to the top of the hill, and he just went for it down the hill towards the Opera House.
Because it's quite
And
late on that hill, isn't it?
yeah, because I think the hill starts at about 39k.
Yeah.
So, and it's quite a long, I think it's like a kilometre's worth of hill.
Ooh.
So then you get to the top of it, and then it's just all downhill. So obviously, you know what it feels like from running Timbahonga.
Yeah.
You go up a really hard hill, and then you've just got to absolutely gun it to the finish
Yeah.
downhill. Yeah, his legs must have been burning down that hill, but he made a really good breakaway in that last little bit, and it was quite exciting. But he managed to win. In second place was Adisu Gabina Aga, who was also Ethiopian, who came in 2:06.16, so 10 seconds afterwards. And then in 2:06.47 was Tabelo Ramakongoana. Man, who I'm not sure where he's from. Do you know what country LSO is?
Lesotho.
Oh, check you out. Where's Lesotho?
It's Africa. I think you spell it like Lesotho, but I think you say it Lesotho. I think it's in the south. I'm gonna have to Google this now because I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna be about 1,000 miles away. I thought it was down south, but it could be. I mean, that could be completely wrong. That makes sense, doesn't it? Did you say
LSO.
LSO? It wouldn't be Sierra Leone, no. Yeah, it's down near South Africa, yeah. I think it might even border it. So it's in the southwest.
Okay.
Oh, it's an actual province within South Africa. That's why I thought it was down in that. Oh, yeah, okay. So it looks like it's not far from like Durban and yeah, Peter. It's near like Comrades kind of neck of the woods.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So that was the top three. Now, 2:06 isn't particularly fast for a marathon major, but the Sydney course isn't an easy course. It's quite hilly. So I was here. I heard some of the Australians saying that they reckon it's about 2 minutes slower than a flat course because of the hills that are in it. So that's still good going 2:06 on that course then. And then Kipchoge, unfortunately, he started to fall off the pace at about 30k. So just before the 20-mile mark, he started to drop back and then got dropped by the pack that was in front of him. But he came in. He still had a decent run. He came in 2:08.31. So a couple of minutes off the lead, which is a shame. I don't want to say it, but do you think Kipchoge will ever be at the top and win a major again?
This would have been his chance to do it, I think, because as far as I know, the field wasn't stacked with his rivals. No. So I was thinking this would have been one of the ones he would have. Has he done all the majors now? I presume he's done all 7.
He's not. No, he's not run all of the majors. One of the things he wanted to do was to win all of the majors. Yeah. And he'd got a couple that he hadn't done. One was Boston, and obviously he had that shocker at Boston.
Yeah.
Has
he done Chicago?
I don't think he has. But he's I'm not. I don't know if he's a fan of hills. So was Sydney really the course for him to go and try and win another major. I don't know. But
you've got to admire the
yeah,
fact that he's still in there with the best of the best.
yeah, he's still in the top 10 of a major marathon.
Yeah, and he still ran a 2:0 what?
2:08.
I mean, that's not bad. Is any? Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, all of the runners in front of him were younger than him. So everyone in the top 10 was young. Oh no, hang on. The guy in 7th was over 40 as well. So, but he's been at the top of his game for how many years now? Yeah. There's a reason why he's the GOAT, and he's been at the top of his game for ages, and now he's now 40. So, is he going to try? What I want to know is he going to go for a flat course somewhere and try and break the Masters over 40 marathon record, which is currently held by Bekele?
Would you think he'd ever race a non-major?
Probably not, because of the money he can earn for appearance fees at a major.
So, there was me just thinking, I wonder if I'll see him at Valencia. But he's never going to turn up to Valencia, is he?
Unless he gets the appearance fee that he would from a major. I can't see it happening.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame, but it's also quite heartwarming and endearing.
Yeah.
In the same way I wanted to talk about in the UTMB when we get there in a bit, about Courtney Dauwalter.
Yeah.
Very similar kind of runner. You know, a runner that has been there, won it all, but still will not throw the towel in. And finished the UTMB in 10th, I think, and got the biggest cheer of the day, of the week, because she's just so loved. And I think it mainly boils down to how much she loves the people, and she loves the sport, and she loves this thing that she does. Yeah. And she just is running. Do you know what I mean? She just is the thing that we all love. And it's probably the same with Kipchoge. It's like, no one would care anymore if Kipchoge does or doesn't do as well as he would like to do, because it's Kipchoge, because he's been there and won it all. So, and he's won all of our hearts, hasn't he?
He's just, his smile and the way he converses about running and about what he's doing, you would struggle to dislike him. I don't think anybody could say they don't like Kipchoge with the way that he is.
Yeah.
So
imagine if he went into coaching, like if he coached some young athletes, some of the wisdom he could give, he could be. That could be his calling.
Well, to be honest, in his training group, they're obviously getting advice and guidance from him as he's running. And he's training for all of these marathons. So hopefully, you never know, they will be the next generation of great marathoners.
Yeah.
But going back to Sydney, with the so I'm going to, before I go into the women's, I'll go into the men's Australian champs. So I talked last week quickly about a couple of runners were making their debut, and one of them that was making his debut, but it wasn't really his debut because he debuted at another marathon but DNF'd. And you can't really then, because you've entered a marathon, just because you've DNF'd, you can't then make the first marathon that you finish your debut, because you've already ran another marathon, you just didn't finish it. So it was his debut, but it wasn't his debut. It was the first time he posted a marathon time, a finish time, but it wasn't his debut. But Haftu Strintos, he managed to win the Australian champ. So he came in first in 2:11:27. And the favourite going into it was Brett Robinson, who was the old Australian marathon record holder. And he'd been training really, really good. He'd posted up some great runs in coming up to Sydney, and he was pretty much the favourite coming in. But he unfortunately had some, I think he had some stomach issues, and he didn't manage to run as well as he wanted. And Brett Robinson actually came in third in 2:15 flat. And in second place was Tom DeCanto, who's one I didn't actually mention last week. And he came in 2:13.25. And apparently he passed Brett Robinson at 40k. So he put, what's that? A minute and a half into him in 2k, which is, that's
up the hill.
Pretty crazy, isn't it? But Tom DeCanto, they interviewed him on Inside Running podcast this week after he'd run Sydney. And the day after the Sydney Marathon, he went out and ran 12k on his commute to work.
Wow.
So he's not a pro. He's just a normal guy who still works for a living. Went and came second in the Australian Champs at Sydney. And then the next day, he's commuting to work, running 12k. And yeah, pretty mad. So he is also on. He's on one of the Inside Running podcast shows called Shoe Geeks, where they talk about different shoes and stuff. I think his job, he's a podiatrist as a job. So he knows his stuff about shoes and things like that. But yeah, so the top three for the Australians was Haftu Strintos, Tom DeCanto, and Brett Robinson. But yeah, pretty good. And then for the ladies, in first place, which they were the favourite going in, and I don't think there was any chance she wasn't going to win, was Sifan Hassan. And if Kipchoge and his smile and his demeanour is something that makes you fall in love with him, I think Sifan Hassan is the female version.
Yeah.
Because how can you not love Sifan Hassan? She's amazing, isn't she?
Such a character, yeah. She's great.
But the way she pulled away at the end, and all the way down the hill coming into the Sydney Opera House, she was looking over her shoulder, wondering where Bridget Kosgei was, but she was nowhere to be seen. And it didn't matter. She absolutely gunned it to the finish, didn't she, Sifan Hassan?
She overtook a few male runners, didn't she? It looked
like.
Yeah.
And she was going for it, but she ran 2:18.22 for the win, and that's the fastest female marathon ever on Australian soil.
Yeah, wow.
So to do it on a hilly course like that, and to break the Australian soil female marathon record is pretty good going. I think she's the first person to ever run sub 2:20 in Australia.
I wonder if she's done now for marathon season. I wonder if she obviously did Chicago last year, I think.
Yeah.
So I doubt she'll do that again. Maybe New York.
Well, people wondered whether she was going to go and do the World Champs, but I think she decided to do Sydney instead of World Champs.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the allure of a bit of dosh. She'd probably fancy her chances for winning.
Well, she's got the payment for winning. She's got the payment for her appearance fee to go over there. She's got the payment for breaking the record on Australian soil.
Yeah.
She's got the payment for breaking the Sydney Marathon record. So, oh man, she must have made a
decision.
Yeah, a good day at the office for Sifan Hassan money-wise, definitely. But in second place was Bridget Kosgei in 2:18.56. And then in third was Workanesh Edessa Gurmisa from Ethiopia in 2:22.15. But yeah, the Australian champs for the women, there was loads of the lead pack that actually dropped out and DNF'd. So the top 3 Australians actually came in the top 10. So the first Australian came 7th overall, which was Leanne Pompiani, who came in 2:24.47. In 8th place overall and second Australian was Jess Stenson in 2:28.56. And in 9th place overall and third Aussie was Lisa Waitman in 2:29.34. So they came 7th, 8th, and 9th overall, as well as first, second, and third Aussie. Yeah, Leanne Pompiani, she ran really well and she looked really strong coming into the finish. But Jess Stenson came in after her, and the cameras caught her finishing, and man, she was cooked. I think she'd had some issues with her quads through the race, with it being hilly, and she could hardly walk when she crossed the finish line. Do you know when? I bet you've had this feeling before, but do you know when you see other people as well, where your body continues to work because your head is going, we need to get to the finish, and then as soon as you cross that finish line, your head goes, oh, we've done now. I can collapse, and your body just shuts down. Her body did that. She was still running, and as soon as she crossed the finish line, it was like her legs stopped working, wobbling, and she just turned into jelly and couldn't walk properly. And then Lisa Waitman came in, and what was great about it was coming up to the Olympics. I talked about this last week, didn't I? Coming up to the Olympics, there was about 5 different women in Australia who would all hit the qualifying time, and then Australian Athletics chose 3 of the 5, and there was a lot of bad blood with the people who got selected and stuff and who didn't get selected, and then there was appeals, and there was a lot of disagreements between them. But the 3 of the Aussies at the end, when they all finished, they all hugged each other and gave each other a kiss and stuff. And it was obviously all the bad blood and everything that had gone on before the Olympics had been squashed. And that they just celebrated all getting across the finish line. And
well, I wonder if their anger was directed more at the Australian Athletics rather than each
and
other.
The selectors. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But in the appeals, you've got to appeal. You've got to appeal why you deserve the place more than the other person. So obviously they were saying things of, well, they haven't done this and I've done this, and obviously things that they've said then rubbed each other up the wrong way and things like that. So but it's good to see that was all quashed, and but yeah, it was good. As we said, the coverage was terrible, but the actual event was great. So
well, like I say, Aubrey has done a good video on it, so that's probably worth a watch for anyone that's thinking about doing it. But it sounds like you've got a pretty good chance of getting in if you enter the ballot. So just be careful if you enter it thinking like London.
I've got no chance. Yeah.
Because if that, I don't know, 200 quid gets taken out your account or whatever it costs, and you think, I've got to book a $9,000 flight now because you're in. But I want to be proved wrong. So, well, I know I'm going to be proved wrong. So if anyone did run it, and especially if any of our Aussie friends or Kiwi friends listening down under know anyone that ran it, please let us know what your or their experiences were, because we'd love to hear from our listeners.
Yeah, definitely.
But
next thing on my list, just quickly before we go on, is I'm just going to rush through this really quickly, but it's World Champs next weekend. So they start on the 13th of September, World Champs. And I did say we would just quickly go through the team that's being selected. So the World Champs are in Tokyo in Japan, running from the 13th to the 21st of September. And the team's out now. They did announce the team that was selected, but some of the people that they selected was based on whether they got the qualifying time or not. So some of the people who were announced as they were going to the World Champs actually aren't going to World Champs because they didn't quite manage the time, which I'm not sure is fair, really, because they got announced as being, and then there was loads of posts and things on Instagram that they were selected, but they're not actually going to World Champs. So, for instance, one of them was Zach Seddon, who is a 3,000 meter steeplechaser. And he got selected, but didn't quite hit the qualifying standard, so he's not actually going. But yeah, so our team that are going, so in the 800 meters for the women, we've got Georgia Hunter-Bell, who has decided to only go for the 800. She's not running the 1500, even though she was Olympic silver medalist in the 1500. So that's an interesting choice. I think she said that if the 800 was second and not first before the 1500, she would have done both. But she wants to concentrate on the 800, and because it would be first and the 1500 is second, she wouldn't be able to put all her effort into the 800 and then run well for the 1500. I think that's what she said anyway. But then we've got Keely Hodgkinson, which was no doubt that she was going to go. And Gemma Reiki makes up the rest of the team for the 800. In the 1500 meters, we've got Laura Muir, Reve Walcott-Nolan, and Erin Wallace. And then in the 5,000 meters, we've got Melissa Courtney-Bryant, Ines Fitzgerald, and Hannah Nuttall. So we've got 3 really good teams there. So hopefully we do well. And then in the 10,000 meters, we've got Megan Keith, and we've got Callie Hauger-Thackeray, who was actually selected for the marathon, but she's decided to scratch the marathon and do the 10,000 meters on the track instead. So we haven't actually got a female marathon runner at the World Champs this year. So that's interesting. And then on the men's team, for the 800 meters, we've got Max Bergin, we've got Tiernan Crauken, and Ben Patterson. Max Bergin ran really well, actually, in the Diamond League final. Wanyonyi won the 800 meters, but Max Bergin was chasing him down the final straight. And every time he caught up with him, Wanyonyi sort of found another burst of speed, and they kept on he kept on catching him up, and then he would go again, and he just managed to beat him. But he beat Marco Aerop in the. So Marco Aerop was third in the Diamond League final. So hopefully Max Bergin could do really well at the World Champs. In the 1500 meters, we've got Elliot Giles, Neil Gurley, and Jake Whiteman, who are our 3 selected. But we've also got Josh Kerr, who goes through as previous champion. So we've actually got 4 in the men's 1500 meters. So hopefully they can all run well. It's going to be good to see Jake Whiteman back in the 1500 meters at the World Champs after his, what was it, 2020? When was it? 2022?
When he beat Jakob.
When he beat Jakob. Was it 22? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
That's about right, yeah.
And then in the 5,000 meters, we've only got one runner, and that is George Mills. So hopefully he runs well and doesn't fall over this time, because he broke his hand, didn't he, recently? But it looks like he's back to running well. And then in the marathon, we've got Emil Caress running for us. So hopefully with him concentrating on the World Champs marathon, he will do well.
Cool. Epic. So when's that? A couple of weeks, did you say?
Yeah, so next weekend, 13th, it starts.
Sounds really good. Great.
So, yeah, could be good. But next thing I've got written down is the UTMB, or just as big an event, the Timbahonga 10K. Which would you like?
Very similar elevations.
Yeah.
Very similar hills.
Which would you like to talk about?
Well, I'll just quickly go through UTMB first, because I spent all weekend and last week watching it, because there was a live stream on YouTube, and it's actually really quite good. And what I really enjoyed about that is, I don't quite know how they do this. I don't know if I mentioned this last week on the podcast, but you must have to do a time trial, or when you go on Indeed.com and you see wanted camera operators for the UTMB, you must have to have a 15-minute 5K, because what they do, they seem to give you a camera and a gimbal, unless you obviously use your own, and then they must somehow plug in some sort of live streaming device on the top. You've somehow got to run backwards down a hill faster than the leading men and women. I don't know how it's done, but what is great about it is, well, obviously a lot of the time they will pace you. So the lead person, or the person you're following, will go ahead of you, and you'll film them from behind, most probably. But what's great is that they'll sort of get to an aid station and then they'll swap over. So these runners will probably get a good hard, UTMB podium pace 5K in. So you must have to be fair enough, these athletes are doing 100, 150, 160K runs, but you must have to be a real good mountain runner to get the job of being a camera operator. But the whole thing was really well run. And from some of the videos I've seen, I don't know if you obviously know Stephen Cousins, who's filmed my run. There's Run for Adventure, who's Lloyd Purvis. I've seen loads of videos about people that have been down in Chamonix. And I mean, I've been to Chamonix and it's a beautiful place, but it looks like UTMB just completely takes over. Like if you live in Chamonix, you must get no sleep, because there are people crossing that finish line for 24 hours a day for 7 days of the week. So there seems to be no quiet time. Yeah. And the finish line always looks well supported as well. So if you finish at 4 a.m, and it's taken you 36 hours, you'll probably get a really rapturous applause. You'll probably be able to get you'll probably be able to go and run backwards up the funnel or the finishing straight and do your high fives and stuff like that. So yeah, it does look like a lot of fun. But I wanted to just go through some of the events that were there. So if anyone doesn't know, the UTMB means Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc's the highest mountain in Europe, and it's over on the French-Swiss-Italian border down in Chamonix, and that's where the HQ is. And there are several races within the week, and the big one is called the UTMB, and that is the 100-mile race, but it's been I think the course was slightly altered because of the weather. Now, the weather this year looked very wet, and I think Tom Evans, who actually came in first, he even said that there was some snow at one point. So I think they really got everything from hot weather to wet to snow. And when you're out on your feet for 24 hours or whatever, you must literally get all these different conditions. But anyway, Tom Evans took the win in 19 hours, 18 minutes, 58.
Because he's a British guy as well, isn't he, Tom Evans?
Yeah. And he's said to be thought of a bit like Messi finally winning the World Cup. Is a name that a lot of people know within the space of trail running, but he said he'll never really be taken seriously unless he wins the UTMB. So that was a title that he really wanted, because I think he's done it before and he's DNF'd, or he's got on the podium, but he's never won. Yeah. So he won, and he won really, really quite comprehensively. I think he got away from his teammate, his Asics teammate, is that right? Ben Diman?
Yes, yeah.
And he finished half an hour later in 1951. I think he made a move around about halfway. I'm not quite sure if it was during the night or not, but he finished in 1951, so half an hour later. And then another Brit on the podium was Josh Wade, who came in at 20:05 for the bronze. And then in the women's, there was a really good race for the women's. Now, this is the one with Courtney Dauwalter, who is just the sweetheart of Chamonix. She's just so cool. She's an American runner, and she runs with these like long sort of board shorts almost.
Yeah, that's her thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and she just seems really, really cool. And she didn't have the race she wanted. I think she was in the lead for a while, but then she had a bit of a disaster, and she ended up finishing the race, but she finished in 10th. And if you look at the reception, if you just Google Courtney Dauwalter UTMB, you'll see the applause she got. And she ran over the line with her kid, and it was wicked. But the winner was a really good performance. She's called Ruth Croft, and she was the one that inspired me to go and buy these. The Ultra Speed Ultras. She's a Kiwi runner and did it in 22:56, 23. And she was followed by Camille Bruyas, who's French, and Katerina Hartmuth was third with 24 hours 16. And the second French runner came in at 23:28. Now, the other race I wanted to mention was the CCC, which is in the 100k category. I think it's just over 100k. I'm not sure of the exact. I think it's about 102 or something like that. And for the men's, it was won by somebody.
What does CCC stand for?
Well, I looked this up and I don't have this to hand, but CCC, it's like the name of the trail. It's like, can you Google it right now? Because
Yeah.
I have looked before, but the trail is called like it's like the legend of that mountain or something, and it's the trail that they took from. I think it means from Courmayeur to Chamonix or something like that.
Courmayeur, Champeau, Chamonix.
Oh, okay, so they're the three main hubs you'll go through.
Yeah, it's the little sister. The 100k. The little sister of the UTMB.
So what does the OCC mean then?
That's what I'm just about to Google.
Because that's the next one down.
OCC is the 50k category. Doesn't actually say.
Yeah, I'm sure that was named after the patron saint or something like that. UTMB stands for no, it's just three places. Orzières, Champagne, and then Chamonix. So it's the
same as CCC, but just different places.
So that's how they code it, right? Okay. There's the ETC as well. There are some other races, but these are some of the bigger ones, if you like. But the men's, I really like this guy. I like his name even more. He's called Francesco Puppi. He's Italian, and he won it in 10:06:02. Second was David Sinclair in 10:13:42, and third was Drew Holman, 10:16. Now the women's was really quite a nerve-wracking finish. This one was settled by 4 minutes from first to third. Martina Mulnicik was a Polish runner. Mulnicik. Sorry, Martina. She did 11:41:55. Second was Sylvia Nordskar, 11:42:13, and third was Anna Tarasova, 11:44:18. But the race I really wanted to mention was the 50k category, which was the OCC. Now this one is the fast one, if you like. This is a real interesting one. Now, the fight for the top two places in both races was really tight. The women's was won by someone called Joylene Chepengano. She's Kenyan. She did it in 5:34:03. And second place was last year's winner, who's called Miao Yao. She's Chinese, which is, again, fantastic name. 5:35:13. And in third was someone called Judith Wider, and she's Swiss. She did 5:38. But in the men's, it was won by the hot favourite, who very nearly didn't win it. But he won it because of a tactical move he made in the last, I think it was in the last 2 or 3 kilometres, by Jim Walmsley, who's a bit of a legend at UTMB. He's an American runner, and he ran it in 5 hours 35 seconds. 20 seconds later, finishing at 5 hours 55 seconds, was an Italian called Christian Minoggio, and finishing 4 minutes later in 5:04:08 was Andre Vitek. Now, the reason it was so awesome was because Jim Walmsley overtook this Christian Minoggio about 5 minutes from the end, and as he passed him, he gave him like, I don't know if it wasn't patronising. It was like a really gentle pat on the back, as if to say, I'm here
just coming
now.
Past you, yeah.
Let move over, Rover. Let Jimmy take over, sort of thing. And Jim Walmsley just surged down the hill into Chamonix. And I've just Googled what was his split time at the end, because you should have seen him. He was moving fast. So bear in mind, he's already done 50k, because I think it was just over 50k the race. His last 5k split, having done 50k, was 15 minutes and 30 seconds on the trails.
It's all downhill, though, isn't it?
So that is rapid, isn't it? 15:30 to finish an ultra marathon. So
that's mental. At the end of a 50k to run a 15-minute 5k is crazy.
In fact, it was 61k in total. It says here it was adjusted due to the weather. So and as he passes him, he sort of taps the Italian guy on the back. And the Italian guy just couldn't respond. And apparently with Chamonix as well, you need to time your overtakes really well, because there are certain places, a bit like F1 in Monte Carlo, where you just tactically, if you're in the right place, someone behind you just won't be able to get past you unless they muscle you out of the way, because some of those trails are so tight towards the end. So he picked his spot and he just went. And it was a really, really, really good way to win a race.
Nice. Sounds good. And it sounds like the coverage and the footage was way better than Sydney Marathon.
Honestly, really impressive considering the scale, because you can't have a car, you can't have a lead bike because of the different terrains. So you're relying on runners to film this for you and live stream it. There were a few technical problems, but honestly, it was a really, really well, and the commentary was good. The graphics on the top of the screen were good. Everything was just good. It was it's just a solid broadcast. And that was quite Partridge-esque, wasn't it? It was a solid broadcast. It was great banter. And so I just think it was really cool. And I would love to do that one day. But I think it would be wise to do it in baby steps. And now there is a race you can do as part of the series, which I think is called the ETC, which is 15 kilometres. And it's 1,000 metres of gain. Bear in mind, the 100 miler is 10,000 metres. So that's bigger than Everest across 15 or 19 hours, whatever they run. For me, that would take me 2 days, wouldn't it? And the rest. But I think there is a cut-off, actually. I think it's 45 hours or something like that. So it's not quite 48 hours. But yeah, if I did have a go, I think I'd start with one of those baby ones. But yeah, 46 hours, 45 is the
haven't you got to do certain events to be able to go to UTMB? Haven't you got to earn stones or something? A bit like the Infinity Gauntlet in Marvel.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a con, because you have to do UTMB races to build up enough for the ballot to get in, and in which case you still might not get a place. And that's right. You have to, the longer race you run, the more stones you accrue. You know, if you do a 100-mile race, you get, say, 4 stones. If you do a 50k or a half marathon, you get 1, for example. So you got 4 times as more chance to get into the UTMB as if you do one of the smaller races. So So yeah, I think that's how it works.
What's the do you know what the finish ratio is for if there's a cut-off of finish time? What's the ratio of finishers? Because there's a lot of people that start, isn't there?
I'll type in UTMB completion rate. So this is AI, of course. Oh, okay, that's more than I thought. This can vary year to year, but the UTMB completion rate, this is probably across all the events, is 60 to 70%.
Yeah. What about the main event though, the 100-miler? I bet that's a lot. If the cut-off's 45 hours, it's got to be lower than that, and it can't be 70% of people who are starting and finishing.
Yeah, it's probably more like 50, isn't it? I don't know, but it looks brutal. But the views out there, I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures from some of the tops of those mountains, but it looks incredible. And that finish in Chamonix, the start looks amazing. So who knows? One day I'll do that. But I would really, really like to have a go at UTMB one day because it looks like it's like the World Cup for trail running, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Right. So Timbahonga 10K was last weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, because we'd been chatting about it for weeks before it, about how the course was, and me trying to give you some tips on how to approach it and what it was going to be like. And did my description actually come to fruition, or?
Yeah, it did. It was one of those things where you were bang on with your descriptions of the route and the hills, the brutality of them. However, I still confidently / arrogantly thought I would have done better than I did. And I struggled my arse off from the gun. From the first time we turned that first right-hand turn up through under the motorway bridge and then up that first hill, I thought, I'm not going to do very well today. I just felt like I'd love to do that race in peak fitness to really have a good go at it, because it was really, really quite hard. Obviously, you've got that hill at the start and the end, which you have to do on the way out and the way back. But even that loop in the middle, that's tough. And
because it's like when you come through the woods bit, it's a slow gradient, isn't it, all the way up to when you then turn right and go and do the loop again.
Yeah. But yeah, I got round and I still haven't got hold because I haven't had time. I haven't actually got an official finish time.
Oh, I was going to say, you're not even on the results, are you?
No, for some reason I didn't get a chip time, and I don't know if that's because of the positioning of my chip on my shoe or the chip on my shoulder that I had of the day that I thought I was going to do better than I did. But I ended up coming in 44. This is Garmin 44:10, and I thought I could have done 42:30 to 43. So I was about 70 seconds over what I thought I was going to do, which is like 10 seconds a K, no, 8 seconds a K slower.
Because where did you come in compared to? Hang on. Did you come in front or behind Ad?
In front. I was one behind Sam Bauer.
Okay, so Sam Bauer did 43:55 chip time.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the clock on my finish. Well, I wouldn't call it a sprint, but on my finish, and, I'm pretty sure it says 44:10 or 44:09. So maybe take a second off that for me to get over the start map. So maybe 44:09. But what position did Sam come?
36th.
30. And how many people were in the?
I don't know. I've only got
about 150, 200. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I've only got a screenshot of the results from when I sent it to you and said, "You're not in the results. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Have I still got the tab open on my thing? Of course I haven't. No.
But
Let me have a look again.
What was funny though, as we started the run, you know me, I don't really like an uncomfortable silence. So I thought, I'll throw a joke in there, and it backfired straight away because as we were running just under the motorway bridge, I said to Ben Bauer and like Ad and Dan who were running next to me, I was like, "Oh, is this the hill?" And Dan Neal said, "You're going to eat them words in a minute." Literally 30 seconds later, I could not breathe. I was in a world of pain. So I tried to run an average pace of 4:15 a k, which for my sub 90 half attempt is about 6:52 a mile. And my first k I did 4:24, so I'm already off the pace. Second hill going down the hill, I pulled it back to 4 minutes a k, 4:02, and then I sort of did a fast, slow, faster, slower k for the whole rest of the race. And I'll be honest, I did enjoy it overall, but I didn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I didn't enjoy it in that sort of sense is because I didn't quite feel fit enough. Because races like that are basically mountainous, but on tarmac, you push yourself like you would it were a normal 10k race, don't you? And if you haven't got the fitness, you just feel awful. And I just feel like, well, I mean, it's my own doing, and because I did the river run, but I think I thought I would have done better than I did. But I did 44:09/10. It wasn't a bad race, but I think I did okay. But I treated it like it was like one big tempo effort anyway. You know, well above tempo, but
yeah,
a free hit, and just wanted to see how well I could do. But yeah, it was bloody hard. Got through that finish, and that's my last 10k of the year, I think. And what's funny is I've got slower every 10k I've done this year. Bourton, I did 41:09. Wolverhampton, 41:25. Two Castles, 42:15. And then today, Sunday, 44:10, 44:09.
There was 338 that ran it.
Okay, so that's top 10% then, almost.
Yeah. Winner was Steve Turner in 34:28. Second was Stephen Dunsby in 34:59. And third was James Marshall in 35:39.
Right. That's serious running, by the way. I said that because I saw Tim, and I think he knew it was going to be hard. But I sort of said, from what I understand about this course, if you can run under 40 on this course...
Yeah, you're going well.
You've done well. Because there are very few places where you can, apart from the downhills, which there are quite a few of, it's very difficult to get into a stride for longer than 3 or 4 minutes, or isn't it? Like it's
there's no way you can get into a rhythm at all in that race. No.
So it's all about running that red line, isn't it?
Yeah.
From the very start.
Yeah, and just knowing not to push it too far, because it will. Yeah, if you blow up, that's it. You're done.
I did enjoy that final mile though when I saw you at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
because it's obviously all downhill, and I was worried about the grassy finish, but I really did quite enjoy that. That was quite dodgy in places though. It was quite rutted, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like it was almost ankle breaking territory. That final,
and it's a bit bumpy, isn't it? It's up and down, up and down.
It's grass. It's no fairway, or it's no cricket pitch. Like it's a proper field.
Yeah, definitely. But also in the results, shout out to Ollie Wilson, one of the B&R runners who came in 5th in 37:42. Marm came in 9th in 39:26.
Fair play.
39:26. So yeah, he got that sub 40. So fair play.
At what cost though?
I know that's the thing.
We spoke to him afterwards,
Yeah.
and he said he was worried that he might have pulled a hamstring out there.
Yeah. He said at
halfway round.
3 miles, he felt his hammy go, and he was nursing it all the way to the finish, and he said it was quite sore at the end. So, yeah, I hope it is feeling a bit better now, Mom.
Yeah.
But look after it, because you don't want to be looking after an injury at all. Look after it. He did come up to us, didn't he, and go, "What would be your advice? I feel like I've pulled my hammy. What would you advise?"
I think he looks at you like an oracle, and he comes to you. He comes to you for tips and advice, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he went, "What would you suggest?" And I went, I get to a sports massage place or a physio. And he went, "Well, I'm not going to do that. So what else can I do?"
Well, I'm obviously not going to do that.
Yeah. So hopefully, Tim, I hope your hammy's feeling better, because that's no good at all. And then first female was Becky Timmins in 40:05. And then who else have we got? So people we spoke to before and after the race. We got Dan Neal, who came in 43:48. Sam Bauer, 43:55. Andy Maguire, no official time.
DNS.
Adam Neal came in 43:13, and Ben Bauer 44:28. So all came in sub 45, which is pretty good going on that course.
Yeah, I think I just didn't quite respect it enough. But now I've done it, I know next year, I need to really do it and be in a better be in better shape, or adjust my expectations accordingly.
Yes.
So,
But
it was a
not
good
an
race.
Easy course at all.
No, I'm actually quite glad it was really hard, because I quite like suffering, if you know what I mean. I quite like the feeling of just slugging your guts out. And it's been a while since I've done that, because I haven't raced since June. I know you haven't raced for quite a while, but it was quite nice, because it feels, when you regularly do races and you have a summer break and you think, I feel a bit rusty, and it was quite nice to be around other fast runners, and it's good. I really enjoyed it. Great race, lovely sort of local feel to it. Really small, kind of intimate race. Good course, and a real. I tell you, would enjoy that. The Quinies.
Yes.
The Q boys would absolutely sail through that race. I think they'd do really, really well.
The only problem is there's no train to race.
We could see if we could arrange one. But,
we'll get some kids along the route with a vape, just blowing out smoke.
To be fair, their video was brilliant. Did you see?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
KQ's what an effort that was.
Yeah.
Doing the race the train video. It looks like a crack of a race, that does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
that really does look like a pain cave for
and
13,
proper
14 miles.
Challenging terrain. At one point you're on the roads, then you're on the grass, and then you're in the mud, in the bogs, and then you're going through all trees and stuff, and then you're on some gravel, and then you're on some slippy rocks that people fall over and absolutely stack it in front of you on. It's
he got someone falling right over, didn't he?
But it looks challenging. But it was a great video and a real nice tribute at the end to their granddad. I think he would have really enjoyed that video. So it was a great one. So nice one for putting that together at TQ, and great work KQ on the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, boys. Really enjoyed that.
Next up is your training week. Tell us what you've been up to.
I will just quickly have a look, because I can't remember. Did I do Parkrun last week? Parkrun. Worcester Woods Parkrun. Yeah, I did Worcester Woods last week. No?
Oh, yeah. Daisy couldn't couldn't wait to get to the finish. She sniffed a fast last K, didn't she?
Yes. So we did a progressive parkrun accidentally, but we chose, because with Daisy, you've got to start at the front or at the back. If you start at the front, you start off fast and you've got nowhere to go. And I learned my lesson from many a parkrun before, that I didn't really want to run a parkrun like that. So we started at the back, started off at like 12, 13 minute miles, and then we progressed right down to like 7 minute miles at the end. So it was a big progressive run, and the last final sprint we did was really, really, really good fun. So we quite enjoyed doing that. And then did the Timberhonga 10K, did a warm up before it started, just did 2 or 3K just around the park. Did a little mini recce.
What was your warm down like?
And then Monday...
I'm only saying that because it was quite a funny conversation.
I was going to do one. Yeah.
And they came up to you and said, should we go for a warm down? And you went, and they went, yeah, I can't be bothered either.
Because it was my idea as well. I'd said to Sam, I need to do 5K at the end of the race. And Oh, actually, I forgot about that. I got home and I did actually do a run when I got back. So I did 10K when I got home later that day. Then Monday, did a nice, easy one with Daisy. We did 11.5K, 12K, so it was 6-7 miles. And then Tuesday, I did a grass session at Worcester, which was, real quick, I'll tell you, it was a 5K. And we did it again. I don't know why we keep doing this. I've got to stop hanging around with Merv. We did it progressively. And we said at the start, right, nothing silly today. Let's start around threshold and try and hang on. Like 10K pace, approximately, because we're on the grass. So 5K pace on the grass feels like 1,500 metre pace. First K we did was something like 4:03. I was like, brilliant. So we got all the way down to, I don't know if I can find my workout here. We got all the way down to like a 3, sort of 3:50, I think I did a 3:44 last kilometre, which is, that's a sub 3 minute, I know for a fact, 800 metres. So what pace do you run 800 metres at 2:55? Is that about 6 something? No, it's got to be less than 6 minute miles, isn't
it? Yeah. Like 96 second laps is 20 minute pace.
So that's 6:20. So it's like 5:40 something, maybe quicker. I don't know. So yeah, the Tuesday was hard. Didn't run again till Thursday because of the bad weather. I thought I was going to run. I was going to double on Thursday, but I didn't. And then Thursday's session was crazy. It was half track, half grass. So didn't have a clue what shoes to wear. So in the end, I just wore my Evo SLs. 3x800 off 2 minutes. 3x400 off 90 seconds. 2 laps of the field, which is just over a K each lap. And then 4x200 all out, basically. Or as fast but not all out, I think was written on the group, but I just did it all out. I mean, how else do you run a 200 metre? But instead of doing 4, I did 2. And if I can just, I can't find the. Just give me a sec. Is it on laps? Here we go. Yeah, okay. So, I did a little warm-up and then we got stuck into it. So my 800, first 800 was a 3:09, which is 3:55K. Second 800, because there was a group of about 7 or 8 people. They went off and they went off fast. They went off 3 minute 800s and I was like, I don't know if I want to run that today. Then I felt like a Billy No Mates. I thought, no, go on, I'll go with the group. It will feel easier. As easy as it didn't feel, I'm glad I stayed with them because you do share the effort. That was 2:58. Third 800, 3 minutes flat. Then we did the 400s, even faster. First one 129, second one 124, third one 123. So thinking, what am I doing with my life? Then they all went off and did their laps. I was like, right, I'm literally not hanging around with you guys anymore because I'm going to die. So I did my own thing around the field and stuck to half marathon pace, which was 4:20 a k, which is about 6:50 a mile ish. So that was fine. And then got back on the track for the 200, did a 38-second 200 and then a 36-second 200. And then did a nice little easy K to finish. And then I basically thought, that's me done forever. I don't think I'll ever run again. But I got up and went out this morning. I did an easy hill run with Daisy. We went up the Malverns first thing. It's a beautiful morning. Got up there for sunrise. We did 5 miles, did 8k, just up and down to the Beacon and back, and that was a great run. So that's me. So with the Great North Run this weekend and tomorrow's Parkrun, that should take me to about 70k, which means I'm going that way. Which means I am increasing quite quickly, so I am conscious of that. But I'm feeling okay. I'm increasing each week at the moment by probably about 10%.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
15%.
Right. That's good, as long as you're not increasing intensity at the same level as well.
No, I don't think so. I'm only doing my 2 hard sessions a week.
Yeah, increase one or the other. Increase distance or intensity. Don't increase both at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, very much looking forward to Sunday, which is the Great North Run, and just because I'm obviously conscious of time, and I'm going to be going for a course PB at the Great North Run, and course PB would be sub 1:45 for me.
Oh, you can do that easy.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it in 1:39, which would be a marathon paced effort. So whether or not I'm at marathon pace level already, I will find out Sunday. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be aiming for, 1:39.59.
Nice. Excellent.
So yeah, very much looking forward to getting doing that tune,
man. What's the weather looking like?
Really quite sunny, I think. I don't know how warm it'll be, but it looks like it's going to be a bright and sunny one. No rain like last year or the year before. Don't know about the wind. Don't know about the temperature, but if it's going to be sunny in September, it's probably not going to be cold. So yeah, I need to try and stay hydrated the day before.
Good.
But we are meeting at Wetherspoons before, and knowing me being some sort of performing monkey or clown, I might have a pint of Guinness or something, or do something. Have a full English or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So looking forward to Sunday, and I've already got my kit planned. I am not taking my new super shoes out yet because I'm saving them for Worcester. So I'll wear my Adidas Pro 4s for Worcester.
Yeah.
But I've got my Alpha Flies packed and my Vaporflies. So I don't know which one I'm going to wear.
As in your Vaporfly 2s? Yeah, orange ones.
The ones you say, haven't you retired them shoes?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might wear them because they're yellow and I'm wearing my Worcester kit. So, the look is more important than the performance.
Matchy. Look good.
Matchy.
Yeah. Look good, feel good. Yeah?
Yeah. Look good, feel awful. But, yeah, so I've got both shoes. And we're camping as well. It's the Campervan's maiden voyage.
Amazing.
So, Laura and
do you know where you're parking?
Yeah, well, we're not staying in like a lay-by or anything like that. So, we're not going to like a dogging site, don't worry. That's Sunday night on the way home. Saturday night, we're stopping in somewhere near the seaside, up near in County Durham somewhere. And it's like a caravan park. And yeah, we're going to go and have the day in the northeast on Saturday. Get to our campsite and yeah, just have, we're taking the burner with us. We're taking the cooker, the gas stove. So we're going to have like a bit of pasta.
Cool.
And yeah, just really excited to go carry on camping.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good. Right. So, next up on the list of things is comments and emails. And comments, we didn't have many this week, so it will be short and sweet. First one is from friend of the podcast, Mac. And he says, cheers for having me on, guys. No problem at all, Mac. It was great to have you on. And then next one is from Alex Bodin. And he says, great pod, gents. It was great to hear Mac's story and his journey into running. On the conversation about running loops, I ran the same 1 mile loop around my house for the majority of my miles this year and only just started expanding out into the great world. Wow. There is something quite unique about running the same little loop. You can just focus on the running, no worrying about directions, can leave hydration at the same spot and so on. It's certainly not for everyone, but it defo has its time and a place if you cannot drive yourself mad.
Yeah, I like that. I think there is beauty to be had, and you can almost force yourself to do those loops at the start, and I think you can really learn to love them. I think they're really useful. Yeah. And when you find a loop that you like, you can do it quite a lot because, although it can get boring, you know it like the back of your hand, so you know where you can push and where you've got to ease off and things like that. So that's good, and it obviously works because Alex's progression this year has been ridiculous,
pretty good, isn't it? So it obviously works because he has proved it.
Sub 19 for the 5K.
Yeah.
So absolutely insane.
Yeah, not bad at all. But that is all of our comments done. So have we got any emails? I know we've got at least one. Yeah.
So we had one a couple of weeks ago from John Braz. Do you remember we were talking about Madeira, John Braz? If John hasn't changed his channel to Madeira John Braz, I don't know why he hasn't. So it says, hey, Brett and Andy, second time writing into the pod. I felt like I had to because of Andy calling my YouTube channel John Braz Madeira. That's it. Sorry, I got it the wrong way around. Maybe I should change it. Yes, the name of the channel is Move on Madeira at the moment because I'm not ready to be the star runner yet, like you guys. This week, just chilling after a race on Saturday where we started on the beach and climbed a total of 1,900 metres in 11k to the highest peak, Pico Ruivo. I thought of taking the camera with me to film it. Thank God I didn't. I would have thrown it in the down the mountain. The views were amazing, but I wouldn't have had the headspace. Tough one, but I plan to do it every year until I can't. I think you guys must do another day of the week just for comments and emails so you can have more time to crack us up. Awesome work, guys. Cheers, John. So,
what did he say his elevation was in 11k of
1,900 metres, 1,900.
1,900 metres in 11k.
So that's
distance.
over 6,000 foot in 7 miles. That's ridiculous. But that's what it sounds like. That's probably flat for Madeira.
Yeah.
That's probably just an easy run.
Yeah.
So, John Braz Madeira, go and search for him. So Move on Madeira is John's channel. Yeah. So tell him
amazing.
If you do see any of his stuff, tell him that we sent you. But yeah, we've had another email. Now this is a long one. Now this is from one of our Australian correspondents. This is from Amelia, who's written in a few times. So
we've got an email here from Amelia.
Amelia has sent us an Amelia. So I might not be able to read it all, but I might have to for the story. Hi, Brett and Andy. Hope you're both doing well. Brett, I hope your recovery's going well. Andy, make sure to put on your drama hat while you read this email. It doubles up as a shoes news and a story of betrayal. I wrote about getting Asics Nova Blast 5s for my birthday a couple of months ago. Yes. In the same email, I wrote about how perfect Asics Nova's 3s were for my feet and how much I loved them. After the first couple of runs, I loved the new Nova 5s even more. They felt great and they looked amazing. All white, diamond-like angles on the midsole. Absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, this was not a fairy tale, but a horror story.
Oh.
One day, I came home from one of my runs and joked to my partner that I feel like I've broken a couple of toes and maybe a few bones around the metatarsal area of my foot. I laughed it off. Hey, probably just tired. Maybe I was planting my foot too aggressively, or maybe it's just some random niggle. So I didn't think too much about it. Over the next couple of weeks, my foot was feeling worse. Despite all that, I kept clocking Ks and setting some new PBs over shorter distances in the process. And at the end of July, I felt, and probably was, the fittest that I've ever been in my life. My winter of speed brought me to a sub 19 over 5k for the first time, and I just missed out on sub 40 10k, finishing at a stupid time of 40:01.
Done a you on it, Andy.
Yeah, done a me. Despite being in such good form and nearing the start of my marathon block, the pain kept getting worse. I had to make a tough decision to take some time off, because by then I could barely put any weight on my left foot. During the week of rest, the foot started to feel better, and I decided to restart my running. One run in and the pain was back. I was about to book a visit to the podiatrist, but then I thought maybe the problem is with my beloved Novablasts. I felt very sceptical. How can my favourite daily runners be doing so much damage to my foot? Turns out it was the shoe. While you can find practically everything you want on the internet to fuel your confirmation bias, it didn't take long to find some videos and Reddit posts about people going through similar things. It wasn't just the Nova 5s. For some, it started in earlier models. Strangely, Nova Blast 3s were absolutely fine for me, but the 5s nearly destroyed my foot. It was perhaps a combination of small changes here and there that ended up culminating in this disaster of a situation. Upon inspecting the structure of the shoe, I was able to pinpoint exactly what the problem was. There is a diamond-like part at the bottom of the shoe that some refer to as a trampoline. It's not much of a pod or spring or trampoline. Certainly not like what the Alpha Flies have. However, that diamond trampoline thingy ended up pushing into my metatarsal area run after run, day after day. The Nova 3s had that part as well, but my guess is that it was softer with the midsole on the outside being firmer, so it was a more even, i.e. flat landing experience. And with the 5s, the middle part ended up protruding into the foot. Not sure if it's just the women's version of the shoes or if it's for both women and men. While my foot still feels a bit sore after all that beating, it's getting better, and I am very happy to have identified the root cause of the problem. At this point, I can't bring myself into the ASICS shop. My trust in ASICS has been shattered. I went from one of their biggest supporters to not having any confidence in their shoes. I'm sure I'll be back on the ASICS train eventually, but for now, I just feel a bit sad about the whole thing. Despite everything that I went through, I believe it's still a niche situation, and overwhelmingly, Nova 5s remain a great shoe choice as it continues to do wonders for many other runners. I had to quickly get a new pair for my daily runs. I wanted to go for the Evo SLs. They look nice and the reviews are glowing. The black ones with the white stripes would pair up nicely with the black 3/4 tights. However, because I burned my shoe budget on the Nova Blast, I had to get creative, so I popped into a local Adidas outlet store and got a pair of SL2s.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for reading this. Now, on to my question, Brett and Andy. In your opinion, what shoe model made the biggest positive or negative change between iterations? For me, it's obviously Nova Blast, but Alpha Fly 2s were a step in the wrong direction compared to the OGs. Thanks for both keeping the podcast going. Honestly, it's the best. Take care, everyone. Amelia. What a story.
That was a dramatic story. Yeah. Man. Oh, that's terrible. Imagine having such a good experience with a shoe. So you buy the new model and it injures you.
I've got one thing to say though. Just going back to like the first paragraph. I was worried about Nova Blast 5s, blah, 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 blah. It was probably an over-aggressive, niggle. At the end of July, it probably was the fittest I've ever been. My winter speed brought me sub 19 over 5k, and I just kept banging out PBs. What's your problem, Amelia? I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
Don't care about your broken foot.
Yeah. I know exactly what the problem is. It means you can't run for ages.
Yeah, that
I
might
know
be a
exactly how you feel. Oh man, yeah, that's horrendous.
What would you say
So
the shoes, like from change from one iteration to the next?
I tell you, a big change that was a massive change for the good was the change from the Boston 10 and 11, which were pretty much exactly the same. The midsole and the outsole was exactly the same on the Boston 10 and 11, and the difference between that and the 12 was night and day. I got on okay with the Boston 10, and I actually had 2 pairs of them, but I went back to them recently, and they were so stiff and like rock hard underneath your feet. And the Boston 12s were fantastic. They were such a great shoe. So that was a big old difference. And the other big difference was the difference between the SL and the SL2. So the SL, I really enjoyed them, but it was the first shoe where it just had a big slab of normal light strike, and it had a little puck in the forefoot of Light Strike Pro. And I thought they were all right. But then when they changed it to the SL2 and it had a big long piece of Light Strike Pro, and they changed the normal Light Strike to the Light Strike 2, it was like a completely different shoe. The SL2 was fantastic compared to the SL. So they were big changes for the good, I would say. I don't know about ones that have gone bad.
I honestly can't, because I'm such a bit of a brand slag. I don't think I go from one iteration to the next, so I can't really give you any honest opinions on one shoe that I've bought the next version of. I think Amelia mentions it. The Alpha Fly 1 to the 2 was a big one. The 2, the pronounced arch on the twos put a lot of people in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
What I've heard.
What's your opinion on the Adios Pro 3 compared to the 4?
Well, I've done a grand total of 5k in my 4s. But yeah, you're right. They do feel like a real big improvement. They do feel very, very different from something that's quite stiff and rigid to something that's quite foamy and forgiving and bouncy, but a little bit more streamlined and tapered in the toe. So I'm yet to really give you an opinion because I've worn it once and I've got a sub 20 in it, so it's a good old shoe. But from everything I've heard, I think it is an improvement. From the 3 to the 4.
That's a line that has made some very big changes and differences between their iterations. I didn't ever have the Adios Pro 1, the first one, but I heard it was brilliant. But the Adios Pro 2 was very snappy and propulsive, and it felt like you wanted to go fast in them. But really cushioned and really good. And then the Pro 3 was a lot smoother. And even though you could run fast in it and it propelled you forward, it felt like more of a comfort-based version of the Pro 2. The Pro 2 was very much snappy, progressed, like it wanted you to go fast. Whereas the Pro 3 was very smooth, and you could keep up that cadence just consistently throughout the marathon. But the Pro 4 has gone softer in the midsole than the Pro 3, but it's got that propulsive nature back again, that it wants you to go faster and wants to push you forward. So it's got the comfort of the Pro 3 and that consistency of pace, but it's gone back to that poppiness of the Pro 2.
That reminds me, on Tuesday, I think it was, I went into Birmingham. Have you been to Sports Direct in Birmingham on New Street?
No.
How often do you ever get the chance, apart from maybe being at the running show, to have all those super shoes and top models?
And be hands-on with them.
Yeah. So I had a good old grope of all the shoes. I tell you what, the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, I have never felt anything like it. Have you ever seen or...
Yeah, they're the weird ones that have got like a weird like strap that on the upper, hasn't it, that goes around you, and it looks a bit like a fish.
They're not the most aesthetically pleasing, but the midsole, I've never felt anything so squidgy and spongy. It is like you know how squidgy like the Pro 4s are?
Yeah.
It's like that times 100. You could literally almost you feel like you could press your fingers together and it pops right back. It was incredible. I mean, I didn't put them on. I'll tell you what I did put on, the Alpha Fly 3s. They feel very different to not very different, but they feel different to the ones. They feel like they've gotten the whole of your foot feels a lot more stable. The Alpha Fly 1 feels like it tilts you in sort of strange ways. But I mean, that's only walking with the Alpha Fly 3, so maybe it feels completely different when you run. But apart from that, it feels quite similar. There was no Fast R3s there, obviously, because there is none in this country anymore.
No.
I had a little play with the Takumi Sen 11s. They've got such a lovely spongy midsole.
Yeah, but it's a different really formulation to the Pro 4, isn't it?
I don't know.
They're slightly they're not as soft, the midsole. It's got a bit more resistance to it because it's a shorter stack. If they made it the same softness as the Pro 4, you'd probably bottom out in them. So it is a different composition of Light Strike Pro in the Takumi Sen.
Right. Okay. Well, whilst we're on that. How long have we got? Because I know we're going to get kicked out of our stream.
We've got 10 minutes.
Okay. Are you ready for some shoes news? Right, I'm over here. Let's move that to one side. Okay, so the first one I bought, I totally lost the plot and bought these Terex Agravic Speed Ultra.
Yeah. So, can you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about trail shoes?
Don't put new shoes on the table. That's what my mum used to tell me. Carry on. Sorry.
Can you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about trail shoes, and you were talking about running ultras and stuff, and I was like, would you not ever consider like the super shoe versions of trail shoes? And you were like, nah, I don't think I'd have those. I don't think I'd want to run in a super shoe trail version. I'd just go for a normal trail shoe.
Well, what I like the look of is there's not a plate in these, but there's like this weird spider-looking thing that sits. I don't even think there's 5 rods. I think it's 3 and a 2, maybe. I can't remember, but it looks...
3 and a 2. What's that add up to, Andy?
No, sorry. It's 3 that way and 2 that way. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think there's 5 rods, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but anyway, it's like... Yeah, it's like in between... I think there's 2 different bits of foam. I think it's sandwiched between 2 bits of foam, maybe. I'm not quite sure.
It's like a super road super shoe. So it's got the top piece of foam, the plate or the rods or whatever it is, and then the bottom piece of foam. But in that one, in the Ultra, it's all Light Strike Pro, isn't it? So it is basically a super shoe.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry to cut you off. I've just put that on the radiator, right, on a flat surface. And when you put these on your feet, normally super shoes feel like they're tilting you forwards. These feel like they tilt you backwards. It's really bizarre. So, like, there's quite an aggressive rocking motion there.
Yeah.
If I just give it a little tap, it does feel. There we go, just fell off. But you put them on, and apparently it's designed so it apparently sorts out sloppy form, and it encourages you to get back on your forefoot and midfoot. When you're 80 miles into 100 mile in the UTMB. God knows why I've just bought these. I'm going to have to do the UTMB now and beat Tom Evans. And that he designed.
I was going to say that, yeah. So Tom Evans used to be an Adidas sponsored runner, and he developed that shoe with Adidas to create the best ultramarathon trail shoe possible. And that is the shoe that he developed and designed. But since then, he's left Adidas, and he's now an ASICS runner, and he's working with ASICS to develop a super trail shoe for ultramarathons. So I want to know how much of the information from Adidas he's taken with him.
He holds the key.
Because the shoe that he won UTMB in is the prototype of the ASICS super trail shoe.
Right.
And the guy in second place was wearing it as well.
Oh, interesting. Well, these are the next ones I bought, because I did buy 4 pairs. So these are basically slippers that cost me 95 quid.
Oh, yes, the Adios 9.
So I bought Adios 9s, and they're in the Lucid Lemon colourway. And I've just put these on my feet and had a walk around the kitchen. And they do feel like slippers. They feel so low to the ground.
Yeah.
But I can see why Merv wears them every week to track. And I can see why people train the fast reps in these. Yeah. Because you've just got good ground contact, haven't you? And what Merv says to me every week, he always takes the mickey out of me saying, "Oh, well, I don't wear my plated shoes I'm actually working hard, unlike you, because I always wear my Endorphin Speed 4s, and he's always in these." Yeah. So I'm looking forward to wearing my bally shoes to...
See, they're very different as well. There's a model of shoe that has changed quite a lot from the last model. Let me just grab mine quickly. Hang on.
Yeah, but I saw someone at club the other day, on Thursday, wearing Adios 5s. In fact, it was Aveen. She got them off Vinted, I think, and she said exactly the same reason. She wanted a shoe that was low to the ground and quite zippy.
Well, you've seen my Adios 3s, haven't you? They were the bright orange solar red ones I bought off Vinted.
Yes, I remember them, yeah.
Because these are the Adios 8.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. They look a bit like Takumis.
They've got a plastic, like, not rod system, but like plate. So it's probably the same sort of shape as your
you see
Terex.
How there's three at the front and 2 at the bottom. Yeah.
But this is plastic rather than carbon.
Okay.
And then it's got most of the midsole is Light Strike 2, and then the front bit just underneath your forefoot is Light Strike Pro. But now they've changed it, so it's now full Light Strike Pro.
Well, that's one of the main reasons I bought the trail shoes and also those Adios 9s. Yeah. Because if I'm going to be running fast without a plate, I want to be running on some decent foam that will hopefully last a good amount of time as well.
But that's why I used to use for my track sessions last year when I was actually running.
And because I'm now a club runner, I train. I do the hard sessions that they plan every week. I need to start wearing kit that I think will be able to manage those sessions properly. So yeah. You wanted to see the third one?
Yes, please.
It's another box with the 3 stripes.
Excellent.
And I've gone for, which I hope that they don't spoil in the next iteration. This might be the first time I've ever done this. I've bought the same shoe. So I've bought the Evo SL with the gum sole.
Such a good colourway.
I look like I should be playing badminton or something with those with those soles. But I think they look really naughty. They do. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm going into winter when the roads get so mucky and there's mud everywhere, and I've just bought white shoes. What am I playing at?
Well, I've done a very similar thing to you and bought a light colourway of shoes as we go into winter. So I'm going to start running again in winter.
On a treadmill.
And I've bought a very light pair of shoes. I've done the same as you and bought a second pair of Evo SLs. I'm not even running at the moment, and I bought a brand new pair of shoes. I don't know what I'm doing, but
Really?
they released a brand new colorway on Wednesday, was it? And I just couldn't resist, so I bought go on. What were you going to call them?
The fruit salads.
Yeah, basically they're orange with pink stripes, and they look great.
Yeah,
so
they do look
I'm
really nice.
Waiting for those to arrive.
Nice. Well, speaking of obscenely coloured shoes, which is something I don't normally go for, you might recognise this colour of this box.
Yes.
So
yes, I'm interested in these.
I've renegotiated my contract with Nike, and I've gone for the fourth pair, a pair of Easy Days, the Vomero Plus. So this colour in real life doesn't look anywhere near as sickly as it does online. I thought it didn't look very, very nice, but I went to Sports Direct and I saw this sort of peachy, sort of light orange, pinky orange colourway, and I thought that actually looks pretty good. So I got them, and I could have got them from Sports Direct full price, but I got them from, these were sports shoes. These were 15% off, and the other two I got, the first two I showed you were Start Fitness. But yeah, so these are the Vomero Pluses. They're not actually that heavy. I quite like the waffle outsole. I know not everyone likes that. I mean, apparently it does. You know, I don't know if that's any good for grip or this is going to be a nightmare for stones and shoes. I don't know.
It looks. I know this is strange, but it looks very much the sole looks very much like an Ultra Boost used to.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you know one thing that I straight away, I put this on, and they feel exactly like my Invincible 2s. However, look at the amount of padding in the heel. Look at that unnecessary amount of padding there. Like, it's so comfortable.
It's plush as you like, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was like, compared to the trail shoes I've just bought, the trail shoes should have that amount. But the trail shoes I've bought are like paper thin. They're so light. But yeah, I'm looking forward to these because these are going to be recovery and easy days only.
Yeah.
The Evo SLs plus the Evos I've already got are going to be marathon pace and fartlecky stuff.
Yeah.
The Adios 9s are going to be track Tuesday and Thursday sessions.
Nice.
And the trail shoes are going to be
for the 200-mile ultra you're doing next week.
200 miles for UTMB in 2029. So, yeah, I'm doing Parkrun tomorrow, and I noticed that it's a traily one. So I'm going to don the new shoes, and the Light Strike Pro in them, and the fact that they were about 150 quid is making me want to go and put my foot down. I know it's a bad idea 24 hours before the Great North Run, but I think I'm going to...
Yeah, just be wary or you'll do a marm on it.
I know, I'm going to pull me blooming hamstring, aren't I? But... yeah, so I think I'm going to enjoy these new shoes, and they've all got a function.
Yeah,
and what I am going to do as well with these trail shoes, I am going to start pushing my trails a bit faster, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to see if the shoes will help me push a little bit quicker.
So you're doing a bit more of a workout on the hills and the trails rather than just doing your slow, ploddy stuff.
Because when I think about it, the real gains I've made over the last 12 months, I think, have come for the new hills where I've my new house. So I wonder if when I get up the Malverns, hopefully I can get up the Malvern Hills a bit better and a bit faster. Hopefully that will improve my hill running in races, which is ultimately the whole reason I've bought this collection of shoes, is because I want to run races faster. Yeah. So, excited with my my haul. Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. Ace, like it. So, as I am looking at time, the only thing we've got left to do this week is The Strava segment. How long had you been queuing that up?
Since 2 hours and 18 minutes. Sorry.
You interrupted the Strava segment.
sorry. I won't do it again.
Brilliant. So last week's Strava leaderboard. In first place for distance was Alan Nutton dressed as lamb with 79.7 miles. So great work there, Alan. Second was Luke Melling with 78.8 miles. So only 0.9 of a mile in it. So pretty close at the top. And then third was Tom O'Connell with 75 miles on the nose.
Brilliant.
So great work, all three of you. For the climbing, in first place was Rory Hancock once again with 6,631 foot. In second was Jordan Knapp, our correspondent from don't know where he's from, lots of different places. Yeah, but he's not from New Zealand, but he's in New Zealand, but he's Welsh. Yeah. But is he British? Is he English? What?
Yeah, can I just explain the Welsh flag? Basically, it's got nothing to do with me at all. Thanks for clearing that up, mate.
But Jordan climbed 5,509 foot. And then Chris Reynolds was in third with 4,045 foot. So great work, all of you. And then on the ladies' side, in first place for distance was Chloe Hammard with 60.5 miles. And Chloe, got to say congratulations for her sub 18 5K at the Mid Cheshire 5K. What a run. Then second was Rachel Watson with 58 miles on the nose, and third was Aveen D with 56.2 miles. And then for our climbing, first place was Ash Spedding with, I like this number, 3,737 foot, 37. Second was Jackie Wilson with 3,022 foot, and third was Sarah Labouchardiere. Sorry for absolutely butchering your surname. I'm going to try that again. Sarah Labouchardiere.
Very good.
With 2,930 foot. So amazing work from everybody on the Strava leaderboard last week.
Yeah, fair play. Well done, everybody. So I didn't ask you how you are. We're at the end of the podcast.
I'm all right.
Have you been on any walks?
Yeah. I've been walking, same as last week. Just getting the miles in, just to try and build some fitness back up, because I am not in any fitness or shape at the moment. So aching legs and bits and bobs and glutes and muscles in my groin and all sorts, but they've not been used for ages. So I think it's a good idea to get some walking in before I even attempt to run. So
is it 4 weeks on Monday your first run, something like that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just counting September as nothing's happening, not until the 1st of October. So
okay,
but tomorrow will be 5 weeks since I had my operation. So we're getting there.
Right,
getting there.
Oh, I'm gutted I won't be there for your Kipchoge Flying V 25-minute parkrun.
Well, I don't even know if I'll be running in that first week. I've just got to see how I feel, because I was walking the other day and crossing the road. A car was coming a bit quick, so I had to go into a little bit of a gentle jog to get across the road before I got run over. And just that gentle jog and everything moving around inside at a different pace to walking felt a bit odd. So yeah, we'll have to see how I feel when we get to October. Fingers crossed I'll be all right, but you never know.
Yeah.
It might be a case of getting back down the gym and getting on their bike and the cross trainer first.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So, but yeah. So anyway, that is about done. Have you got anything else you need to?
That was it. Yeah, got my shoes news. Got that in.
Yeah.
There's a big shoes news from me today. That's probably a year's worth of shoes news.
Yeah, until next week when you bought more pairs.
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, only 15% off as well. I just went absolutely crazy. 15%. That's not even a discount. I think that's a standard discount. Everyone gets 15% off. But anyway, I feel like I don't have to go shoe shopping now for a good long time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. Good. Right. So thank you very much to everybody for listening or watching. And why don't you, if you haven't already, go and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and go and give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And we shall see you next week. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.